Hello everyone, I'm Ep05.
And I am Sandman99.
And welcome back to The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition with Winterfrost.
Yes. And in the last episode, we found Theseus's forge. But we missed Tamara again. And but she did leave behind a clue indicating that she was going to explore some ice caves. These guys talk too much, I'm going outside. We're going to explore some ice caves that apparently Tamara had heard about that had another vampire artifact. And so we came back to Rorikstead, and I know I had a reason for doing that, but I don't remember what.
Well, I know you were doing some bookkeeping and some smithing and other things like that.
Yes, but I changed my mind now. I think we need to go and pass through Whiterun, even just for a few minutes, because I need to,
Pick up some supplies?
Pick up some supplies and maybe a couple of spells or something that I don't have access to anywhere else.
Okay.
And also I want to see if I can find a resist cold enchantment, because if we're going to be exploring the coastline at the north end of Skyrim, well, even my toasty fur armor here is just not going to cut it.
Not even with a torch?
Not even with a torch.
Are you
Oh, look.
ogling the grotesque?
This guy. He always appears at about this time in the game, right?
Oh?
Yep.
I've never really thought about it.
Yeah, usually when you get to be around level 8, level 10, somewhere in there.
Returning to High Rock. Our shepherd lost his way, and I fear Periite's wrath may consume those who remain with him. Kesh could tell you more. I just want out of Skyrim as quickly as possible.
Yes, these guys have an interesting combat method where they actually barf on their opponents, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, I don't have the ability to hypnotize that guy, so I can't feed on him unless I want to kill him, so I guess we'll just keep on going here.
No breakfast for you.
Well, I do have a fair number of blood potions now, so maybe I'll just have one of those to tide me over. But anyway, we've traveled this way before, so there aren't really any flowers left to pick. So we've gone, uh-oh, what's this now? Oh, more of these guys, okay. Oh, miss me.
If only you had the Mercy mod.
Yeah.
Then after she submitted there, she would stop attacking you.
Yeah, well, I found that when I had that mod, because I had that mod in Oldrim, and I found that it was kind of a nuisance, because then what do you do with these guys after they've surrendered?
Well, I guess you can either kill them, or you can just, like, leave them alone. I pretty much did a bit of both, actually.
Oh.
If you didn't have equipment I wanted, I left you alone. If you had equipment I wanted, then I killed you.
Well, I managed to get a couple of my arrows back. Okay, well, that one was carrying the Vampire Bounty Note. So, I guess we'll feed on this one, because I think we have enough blood potions now. And so we'll continue to work on getting our feed count up so that we can gain a rank here and gain some brand new powers at some point.
Yeah, because how far you progress in vampirism depends on how often you feed, right?
Well, how many times, basically. Like, I'll show you here, because you can go into here, and we can look at better vampires and status. And it tells me what the current light level is, and tells me what stage I'm at, right? And I know that so long as I'm at stage 1, I can go outside during the daytime without suffering any physical damage. I'll still suffer the usual debuffs, you know, to health and stamina and that kind of thing. But at least I won't take actual physical damage so long as I stay at stage 1, right? And it tells me I need 31 more feedings to reach the next rank. And at the next rank, I'll start to gain some interesting powers. You know, like the ability to hypnotize feeding victims and that kind of thing, right?
The magical foot looting.
That's right, we have to do the magical foot looting. Actually, one of our viewers did point out that there is a mod that I could put in here for removable underwear for NPCs or something. But I'm so close to the limit here for my mods, like I don't really want to...
Screw anything up?
Well, yeah. What I'm worried about is that I might break the game if I add too many more mods.
Yep.
And I still have a pretty stable game. I get the occasional crash and freeze and that kind of thing, but not too much.
You know, you're running over 200 mods, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think that the last time I looked, I had something like 215 or 220 plugins.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm starting to get kind of close to the limit. Which means that if I do happen to see something that I really, really like, I still have, you know, enough room to add it. But
you're a bit more selective.
I have to be a bit more selective in case, you know, I don't want to fill my load order up and then come across something that I really, really like, you know?
Yep.
Oh, crap. More werewolves up there. Luckily, I saw them first.
Well, it's also fairly impressive that you haven't managed to break your game yet with so many mods.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm actually running this game using Vortex, which has its pluses and minuses, to be sure. And, you know, like some of the things about Vortex I really don't like. Like you can't really manipulate your load order yourself. It's all automatically done.
Yep.
And if I wanted to change the load order of something, it's a ridiculously complicated process to try and go through to do it manually, right?
Yeah, as compared to, say, something like the Nexus Mod Manager.
Yeah, as compared to the good old Nexus Mod Manager, which I'm using to manage our Fallout 4, for example. Crap.
You encountered one anyways.
I encountered one anyways. It's a hunter. Well, he seems to be, you know what? I'm just going to continue on here, because it appears that he's busy with the dog right now anyway.
But anyways, you were speaking of Vortex.
Yes. So Vortex, in that way, is not really necessarily a good thing, because what they tried to do is create kind of like an easy button for people to use. And the easy button is all well and good unless you want to actually do things, you know, like a little bit more
Outside of the scope?
outside of the scope, right? And but on the other hand, though, I mean, you do have automatically included things like loot and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
Which most of the time does seem to sort mods into the right order, at least, so that you don't have too many mod conflicts and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one concession that I will have to give Vortex is that I have never run a game with this many mods before and had it remain this stable, right? So I guess in a way the easy button does work, but one of the other drawbacks that I found with Vortex is that if you, I don't really use it as an easy button per se. You know, like I don't use the mod manager to download mods from the Nexus and then automatically install mods and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I found that that doesn't really work very well, and half the time mods that you try to install that way end up not functioning properly, because for some reason Vortex doesn't always put the files within a mod into the right file structure. And so what I tend to do is download the mods manually, and then I actually open them up.
And you rebuild the file structure.
Like I unzip them and then rebuild the file structure and then rezip them. And, that way, at least when I do install it, it's got the correct file structure already put in place.
Yeah, like all the ESP files and stuff are in the proper data folder instead of just like...
Yeah, exactly. What would happen is a lot of times the
files themselves don't have a data folder, and they just kind of get dumped into the main executable folder, and then they don't work.
Well, also you get some files, too, that are not necessary to the mod. Things like JPEG files and that kind of crap.
Yeah.
That you end up getting installed into the mod as well, right?
Yeah, and while they're not very big, they are completely unnecessary.
Yeah. So, what I find is that I'm basically doing what amounts to a manual install anyway, in that I'm basically rebuilding the file structure for each of these mods anyhow. And then I just, once I've repacked it, like I'll repack it and compress it again, and then I just go into the file, like into the mod manager, and I go install from file, right?
Yep.
And I install the repacked version.
Well, that kind of thing is actually not that uncommon outside of software development and like managing systems and things like that as well, because that's actually kind of how it works to install things on, say, a Linux system, for example.
Yeah.
Or I believe Microsoft with their new PowerShell has some package management built into that too. That's what that's actually called, is package management. And what you're doing is basically the job of what we would typically call a package maintainer.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and you know what? I sound all clever and wise and all that kind of stuff, but I actually learned how to do that from you. So, there you go, folks. RecV5X is the technical smart guy that taught me how to do that. But once you know how to do it, it's actually not all that terribly hard. You just you just unzip the mod file that you download from the Nexus with whatever. I use pzip, but I guess you could use WinZip or 7-zip or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you have available to you.
And then you just make sure that any files that should go into the data folder, like you just make a new folder called data and put all those files in there, like your ESP and your meshes and textures and all that kind of stuff. And then you just recompress it again.
Yeah, you don't even have to worry on Windows about file case sensitivity either, because Windows treats capital letter name files and lowercase letter name files as the same thing. That's a problem that actually occurs on Linux systems, where you have to go through and make all of the files either all uppercase or all lowercase. That makes modding Skyrim on your Linux system a little bit harder, unless you specifically installed your Skyrim onto a file system that is like Windows.
Well, I guess it was barely worth my going out of my way to pick up those 4 gold pieces. But anyway, you know what? Those Vigilance of Stendarr guys seem to be remarkably persistent, and they're certainly showing up a lot. Which makes me wonder if Brehon and his better vampires didn't just replace some of those patrols with his own? Somehow?
He may have, actually.
Yeah. Because what I noticed is that you still see the vanilla Vigilant of Stendar guys occasionally. And you can tell that they're the vanilla guys because they're way easier to kill than the guys that are added in the Better Vampires mod.
Yeah.
But you still see them occasionally, but not nearly as often as I've seen them in this playthrough. And this is the first time in a while, actually, that I've played with the Vampire Hunters turned off in the Better Vampires mod. So, anyway, we're coming up on a feature.
A feature?
Yes, a feature. It's a store. It's a shop. It's a shop called Your Highness. And so, here we go. And guess what Your Highness sells? So, and you know what? Oddly enough, this guy out here who's farming all these plants, well, he doesn't mind if you pick a few buds here, right?
Or all of them?
Or all of them. Because they will actually respawn again at some point later, right?
Yep.
So this is part of the Cannabis Skyrim mod.
Oh, okay.
I've been looking for you.
Oh!
Oh, and here's the magical courier.
Let's see here. Ah, a letter.
Oh, okay.
Moving up in the world, eh? Looks like that's it.
How did you know I was here? How? Ooh, that was the dog. Anyway, there's all sorts of different strains, and they have slightly differing effects and that kind of thing too, right?
Yep.
And you can even, when you harvest male plants, you get hemp, which you can make clothing items out of and that kind of thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Although they're not really, very sexy clothing items, so I've never really been very interested in that kind of thing. But anyway, I guess if you were interested in that, actually this guy here is wearing an example of what the hemp, I guess, robe and pants look like.
Just tie-dye it.
Yeah.
Need something?
And of course he's got a doob hanging out of his mouth there, and, Anyway, and here are some of the male plants. They've kind of separated them out. And of course we got some flowers that we can pick here too in front of the building.
Well, it wouldn't be an episode of Skyrim without Sandman flower picking.
That's right. Well, because alchemy is still one of the more useful skills in the game. So now we'll go inside.
Got something for just about everybody in here. Give a holler if you have any questions.
And it's nice and warm in here and all that. So from harvesting all of those plants, I actually got a whole bunch of buds of different types. And as you can see, there's like a little capsule description of what each type of plant does, right?
In really tiny, tiny text.
In really, really tiny text. Although this one here cures poison. This one has all sorts of different things. Cure poison, resist damage, fortify stamina, +2 articulation, +20 damage magicka, +2 fortify lockpicking, fortify smithing, and gives you the well-rested bonus. And then this one, I guess, gives you a buff to destruction spells. This one gives you a small buff to destruction spells. This one here actually gives you several of the fortify things, but it also cures disease. So it gives you an excuse, right? You get brown rot or something, so yeah, we'll smoke a bowl and we'll feel much better. Yeah.
Fuck.
And then of course here's another one that has different different effects, right? And you can do all sorts of things too, like you also end up with a bunch of seeds. And if you buy planter pots from this lady here, or planting soil, potting soil, you can plant the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you grab this staff here, you can actually point it at the ground and activate it and plant a random seed, which will then automatically start to grow.
Yep.
Because when you plant seeds manually using pots or soil, you also have to buy jars from here that you can collect water in order to be able to water the plant, because you have to water it to get it to start to grow.
Yep.
Anyway, you can buy all sorts of smoking materials, and you have to get a weed satchel because that's an essential part of this whole process. And of course, you can buy edibles and that kind of stuff too, right?
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to satisfy myself with just a gourd pipe for now. And we'll maybe get a dragon bong later. Because it's kind of expensive right now.
Oh,
and,
right.
And of course, if you pick up, those random rolls of paper that you can come across in the game world now, well, you can use those papers to roll a joint.
Fuck.
So, anyway. So, and over here, she has a little lab setup called the Dabratory. And if you activate it, depending on your alchemy skill and what materials you happen to have in your inventory, you can make different things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make hashish because I have the 25 alchemy required, and it costs 5 buds and takes 2 days. So if I come back in 2 days' time now, I'll have some hashish when I get back. And so now, I guess, we'll give a little demonstration of how this works. So what you do is you activate the weed satchel, and it gives you some options. And in this particular case, I can fill my gourd pipe. And it asks me what I want to fill it with, and I can fill it with a bud of whatever particular strain I want to smoke. So I'll put it in there, and then that's good enough for now. And then when you go in here, well, if you look in here, there's a gourd pipe filled with Daedric poison weed. So you activate it, and
get some visual
effects. There you
effects.
go. And you get some visual effects, too.
It's like having night vision on.
Yeah, it's just like having night vision on, right? And during the daytime, though, it's really hard to see where you're going, especially with some of the stronger. This isn't one of the stronger strains, right? And if you eat some hashish or something like that, it's like the whole screen is yellow and green and blue and stuff. Like you can't even see where you're going, right?
Fuck.
It's worse than absinthe in Fallout New Vegas.
Well, that's saying something.
But anyway, if you look now under magical effects, well, you can see that I get a buff to articulation, and fortify lockpicking, fortify smithing, fortify stamina, resist damage a little bit. These are all like small buffs. And stoned. So that is another effect, right? And of course, there are options that you can set in here too. Like, for example, if you smoke a joint or a blunt, well, then actually it stays hanging out of your mouth until it's consumed.
Yep.
And if you set the options a certain way, whenever you walk by an NPC, there's a chance that they may ask you if you have any for sale.
Fuck.
And of course, like there's one thing though about it is that growing plants is a very, very script heavy thing, right? What I've noticed in other playthroughs that I have sometimes is that when the plants start to ripen, it will really slow down things. Like you go to access your inventory and it takes like 3 or 4 seconds to open the inventory screen and stuff like that, right? So I don't think I'll be planting any plants because, for this playthrough, just because it slows things down too much. But it's kind of fun to, like just do this a little bit.
Does that also happen with the potted plants?
Yeah, it happens. Well, basically, that was with the potted plants, because with that playthrough that you were watching me play, I actually planted like 24 plants in Dragon's Reach. Uh-oh. Oh, I fell in the drink here. Uh-oh.
Maybe you should,
Ah, shit.
under the
Okay.
bridge.
Yeah, let's go under the bridge. Wow. Did I lose him?
I think so. Temporarily. He'll be coming back behind you, though. If he can actually get up that area.
I don't know. I think somebody else caught up to him and is fighting with him, probably. Can't see anybody from here. Oh well. Oh, here comes the... Oh,
Wow, that hurts.
time to take evasive action. Hey, you're the Dawn Guard guy. Kill that vampire. What are you doing?
Fleeing? I think he's fleeing.
Yeah, what are you doing fleeing?
Maybe you should
Jeez.
pick up a Dawn Guard weapon and use it to fight
you
the
don't.
guy.
You don't melee these guys unless you've got enough health that you can stand the drain health effect for a bit. I'd rather shoot them with my bow while somebody else keeps them busy. Okay, well, he's got some vampire dust. Nothing else really very interesting. Yeah, you don't melee these guys unless you know, like you're a much higher level than I am, right? These are vampire encounters that are added by the better vampires mod too. Well, hopefully they're braver than you. What's the Dawn Guard?
We search out and destroy those blood-sucking scum wherever we find them.
I haven't noticed any vampires.
Sure. What vampires?
Yep.
Haven't you heard that the Hall of the Vigilance was destroyed by vampires?
I just hope that no storekeepers or anything got killed, because that's a pain in the butt too. Right?
You could always resurrect them.
Well, except that if they got turned into zombies, then they're just piles of ash, and you can't resurrect those.
Yeah,
guys.
that's true, actually.
Our leader, Whiterun, is re-establishing the Dawn Guard. Real, serious vampire hunters.
Okay, where do I sign up?
Whiterun's going to like you. Go talk to him at Fort Dawn Guard, southeast of Riften. He'll decide if you're Dawn Guard material.
Okay. Well, I've got no problem with killing other vampires. I do it all the time. Because they always try to kill me. Okay, well, we're not going to flower pick the entire town of Whiterun here. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like Idle Laugh.
Yo, fuck him.
I'm going to rob him first. Okay. I'll take his key, too. Okay, there. Now, we can do something like this. Right? And we'll go... Resurrect. Because he is kind of a jerk, but you know what?
Yeah, he is totally a fucking jerk.
You can consider all that stuff I took from him my fee.
You just gotta be like teabagging his ass in the street there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. I wasn't going to flower pick the entire town here. I'm going to stop that.
Stupid dog.
Anybody down in the river there?
What? Oh,
Because there was a whole bunch of combat going down in that river, I think.
yeah.
Or at least there was a whole bunch of things chasing you before they came out of the river.
Well, let's see here. Nope, nobody ended up down here. Looks like no guards died or anything. We'll just have a quick look around to see if there's any NPC, you know, like dead NPCs aside from Idle Laugh.
Or flowers to pick.
Yeah, or flower. Yeah. Oh, I'm trying not to do that. But they're blue. I have to pick the blue flowers.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, let's see if we've got anything I can break down here. Nope. Okay, well, anyway, we need to go and see Farengar because I need some magical spell type magic to work with here. And hopefully I can find some Resist cold enchantments. Oh, okay, that's him. I think we're in luck, right?
No shopkeepers.
No important NPCs were out here getting their asses handed to them.
The NPC goes and tries to slay the vampire with his iron dagger.
Yeah, well, that's what that really pisses me off is like, what is Bellathor doing, right? He should be running for his life, not trying to, you know...
Yo, especially because he's a Breton and not a Nord.
Yeah. Anyway, here we are in Dragon's Reach. Berengar is an early riser. Let's go talk to him.
It seems this damnable conflict is claimed.
Okay, how do you enchant weapons and armor?
You'll need to start.
Yes, blah 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 blah. Yes, I know how all that works.
I have everything you need for
Are you the only wizard in Whiterun?
I believe I am. Would you be so
Okay.
kind as to deliver?
Sure, I'll deliver the frost salts so I can take all of Arcadia's stuff. Where can I learn more about magic?
Well, I'm afraid I'm not much good at teaching.
Okay.
You should try your luck at the College of Winterhold.
Okay, well, I'm gonna use your arcane enchanter here first. And I don't have any new enchantments except for these. So now, I guess we'll...
There's a trick. So, you wish to master the arcane arts?
because we should be able to sell all these things to him. And in return... Okay, he doesn't have any Grand Soul Gems, but he does have spells. And I have about 3 major spell mods that add a lot of new spells to the game. And I can't remember which one this comes from, but it's called Okado's Recital. And what it is it's a way to store spells so that they're automatically triggered by a particular event. And one of the spells that I like to use to trigger that with, of course, is something called Soul Cloak, which is kind of like an area effect soul trap.
Yep.
And another one I like to use is Stone Flesh. And another one that I really like to use, we got to scroll all the way back now. Oh, I think I went too far, but we'll grab this one as well, Conjure Avenging Wraith. And we will also grab Divine Aegis, which means for 30 seconds, the next 2 physical attacks against the caster automatically miss. So, basically the way that these triggered spells work is I equip... oh yeah, right, I gotta read the books first. Okay, so we learn all these spells. Okay, so I equip Okado's Recital in my right hand, and then Stone Flesh in my left. And then I cast Okado's Recital. And now I've got a spell stored.
Oh, okay.
And the way this works is that basically every time that I start a new encounter, that spell, Stone Flesh, will be automatically cast on me. And then, of course, the next thing I want to do is I also want Soul Cloak. So I would equip that in my left hand, and if I have enough magicka, I have to wait for my magicka to regenerate a bit. Okay, so now I've got 2 spells, and I'm allowed 3, so the next one will be Aegis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, I have to wait for my magicka to regenerate, so I'll talk to Berengar a little bit more while I'm waiting. Because he's got a bunch more money to spend now again, so I can sell some more of this stuff.
Remember, your mind is the best weapon you have.
Okay, there's also one other spell that I think is really
I
necessary
had you
too.
figured for a mage. I think you'll appreciate this.
And this one is a very useful spell for avoiding things like swinging blade traps and stuff like that. Because I'm running the mod Lethal Traps.
Yep.
And swinging blade traps are particularly deadly. If you get hit by a swinging blade trap, usually it will kill you outright unless you're a very high level character, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Time Stutter, which slows time for 3 seconds.
Okay.
So what I do is I time the swinging of the swinging blade traps while I'm getting ready to cast this spell, and I trigger it at just the right time to make the blades swing really slow so that I can sprint through the hallway, right? And there was one other spell that I wanted to get as well. If I can, I think it's... Yeah, here we go. Sleight of Hand. And Sleight of Hand is a really fun spell.
Right then.
Okay, we'll see if I've got anything left here to sell to him. Yeah, like some of these amulets of Stendar. And I've never actually tried this. Banish a living creature to oblivion. Okay. I've never actually tried these either. I don't tend to use scroll spells very much.
Because they're usually a one-shot deal.
Yeah. And I'm usually too busy doing other things too. I'm not really much of a magic user. I like these passive type effects. So if we check here, yeah, I can get my Divine Aegis spell. There. So now, even if I'm caught by surprise, right? Well, my enemy's first 2 attacks will miss, right?
Yep. Which gives you a chance to get your bearings.
And now we'll also learn Time Stutter and Sleight of Hand. Now, the way Sleight of Hand works is you actually equip Sleight of Hand, which is an illusion spell, in your left hand. And you equip something like an iron dagger or something like that in your right hand. I don't happen to have one, right?
You'll have to get a supply of them.
I'll have to get a supply of them. Because when the Dawnguard vampire hunter with his silver warhammer is trying to brain me, what I do is I cast Sleight of Hand on him, and then suddenly I have his silver warhammer, and he has my iron dagger. Which makes him far less harmful.
Yep.
But anyway, that's pretty much mission accomplished. We did what we wanted to do here with Farengar. And so I guess now we can head back out. Oh, it's daytime. And here is a little tip for people who play vampires out there who go, well, how can I find somebody who is sleeping that I can feed on? Because it seems like nobody in Skyrim has a regular sleep schedule. But there is one subset of people that does have a regular sleep schedule. I mean, you could go into somebody's house at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're up.
And standing and facing the door.
And facing the door and telling you to get out, right? And it's like, well, don't you sleep? Like, what are you doing? And so anyway, here is the best way to stay fed. And this works in any of the major holds. And I know on the surface it may seem a little hazardous, but here we go. See, you can always find a sleeping guard somewhere. There.
Part of public service and duty is to be a portable feed bag?
Well, there. So now I'm feeling much better again. And, you know, like, so long as you make sure that you don't feed on the same guard, because you can actually kill guards by draining them to death if you feed on them more than once in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
So you have to try and, hit a different spot, like a different bed each time, because then hopefully you won't accidentally kill a guard, because the guards get kind of mad when you do that.
Only if they see you.
Well, only if they see you. But another thing that you can do too, of course, is you can go into this little guard post here, because there's usually a guard and the captain of the guard sleeping in here too.
Oh, okay.
So what I try and do is, if I'm hanging around Whiterun a lot, is I'll alternate days, and one day I'll go in here, the next day I'll go in there. And occasionally, if I'm in the middle of the night, sometimes the people in the palace might be sleeping too, so I can maybe go and feed on one of them too. But anyway, we're going to go in the Drunken Huntsman here. And we're going to have a look at the Sodetta Huntress Crafting Manual. And what this does is it gives me the ability to make a weapon and armor with materials that I can grab from here.
Nice.
Except that I'm going to wait until I actually own the house and have access to the cloud storage chest, because this stuff is all very heavy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't carry it all. And also the Sodetta Huntress armor is not really all that terribly warm. I think I must have read that book before.
And so it's better to stick with your fur armor for now, especially since we're going to be trekking around the north.
Exactly. See, now, I could hire Janassa if I wanted to. But I'm not sure I want to get into that just yet. I think I'm doing just fine with my dog. Because Janassa actually has an entire quest line as part of the Amorous Adventures mod. And it's a fairly lengthy thing that we'll maybe explore here a little later.
Okay.
In fact, like, some of the Amorous Adventure quest lines are actually pretty simple. Some of them are quite complicated and lengthy, right? And some of them you can get like a pretty substantial reward too, like a magical item or something like that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not quite time for Arcadia to open yet. I'm also waiting for Bellathor to open his shop too, because sometimes he sells items. Maybe I'll go and see Adrian and see if she's got any like armor pieces or something for sale that have resist cold enchantment on it. So as you can see, I'm suffering from a little bit of sunburn from being outside, and I do take a little bit of a hit to my 3 main statistics there, but I'm not suffering any damage because I've managed to stay reasonably well. Oh, look, this is a chance to make iron daggers.
Fuck, we're gonna do the smithing tutorial.
We're gonna do the smithing tutorial, yep.
Here's everything you need to make one. Go ahead.
Because not only that, but I'm cheap, and she gives me the materials that I need in order to make one.
Oh my god.
In fact, I think I'll make another one since I, there. Okay.
Have you met my... Not bad, but it's a
She was going to call my dog stupid until I interrupted her.
She was
in the middle of calling him stupid. Okay, well, now I got to sharpen my one of my iron daggers here. You don't want to sharpen these iron daggers because you want, when you use the sleight of hand spell, you want to give your enemy the most useless and low damage weapon possible, right?
Yep.
This looks good. You put time into your blades, they'll serve you well.
Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter, though. I mean, your smithing skill's not that high yet, right?
That's true. It'll do for now in a pinch, but I would definitely use the weaker one first. Now I need to use the tanning rack here. Okay. Here's that leather you wanted.
Ah, good.
Let's see if you can make a hide.
Okay, and now we're gonna make a useless hide helmet. Hide helmet. Hide helmet. Okay, here's a useless hide helmet.
Let's improve the fit. Take this leather to the workbench.
Okay, so I guess we'll make it a slightly less useless hide helmet now.
But still useless.
Until next
Yep.
time. I'm waiting.
There.
You have talent. Why don't you keep that dagger and helmet? Maybe you will.
Okay, do you work the forge all day?
It's a sword. Listen, could you take the
Sure, I'll run that errand for you.
That way you can make some money.
Yeah. Well, a 20 lousy gold pieces, but it's the goodwill that matters, right? And besides, I have to do something to kill time until the store's open anyway.
Well, it's also 2 nights at the inn if you needed to sleep at the inn for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Battleborn, give me your money.
Okay.
I don't have any money.
We'll stop in here briefly, too. Because here is another one of those books, crafting manuals. These are mods by Deserter X, by the way, where you can actually use those manuals to craft the armor items, right?
Yep.
And they vary, like some of them are heavy armor, some of them are light. And quite often he also has includes a weapon along with the armor. Like for example, with the cleric armor, you get a mace, or you can make a mace. Anyway, we'll go up here and we'll see what's his name, Avanici there.
Fear for the boy? I'm a swordman myself.
Yeah. Oh, there he is over there.
I serve you.
There. Here's a sword.
Ah, this. Thank you. Please, take these few coins for services rendered.
There.
Enjoy your visit to Dragon's
See,
Reach.
because if you run these errands and you make friends with the right people, well then you can wander around in the castle and all that kind of stuff. And nobody seems to mind, you know.
Oh, okay.
You can pick all the locks on the display cases and take stray pieces of gold out of everybody's dressers and, you know. Whoops. Oh, jeez, I wasn't going looking where I was going. I fell in the pond.
Don't drink and walk.
Yeah.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Okay, well, I think it's well past time now to go in and do a little bit of shopping.
Got something for just about everybody in here. Give a holler if you have any questions.
Okay. Here's some frost pelts from Farengar. And she's gonna make a love elixir and spike, and she's gonna roofie Farengar, eh?
Fuck.
Little did he know when he sent that.
Yep.
Should suffice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and now that I've done that little favor, I can take all of her stuff, or most of it anyway.
As long as it's got a value underneath a certain amount, yeah.
Yep. Gotta be careful you don't accidentally steal something, though, because you just finished making friends with her, right?
You look rather pale. Could be ataxia. It's quite a problem back home in Cyrodiil.
Yeah, you give her this one thing and then you can empty out her shop.
That's right.
These frost salts weren't worth that much.
Eh? Yeah. Well, not only that, but I can take that lesser soul gem, and this, and this, and that. And of course, this is all vanilla, right? Like, this has nothing to do with any mods or anything like that. Even with the vanilla game, you can do this shit.
Yep.
I've got That's something.
And here's another one of Deserter X's mods too, right? The Little Red Riding Hood outfit. And that one is one of the few ones that doesn't come with an extra item like a weapon or a staff or something like that, right? Anyway, now we can root through all of her cupboards. Oh, look, there's a roll of paper. We'll take that.
Just so you have something for later.
Yeah. We don't really need those potatoes. Gonna come behind the counter here if you don't mind. Oh, you're in the way. Get out of the way. Okay, there. And we'll take that frostbite venom.
You'll find tonics,
And the
salves,
death bell.
potions on my shelves. Browse to your heart's content.
And that lavender. See, this is the most efficient flower picking ever, right?
I think there was also a piece of nightshade underneath that table that you missed.
Was there? Where?
To your left? To your
Oh,
right?
no, there's an ice wraith teeth, but I can't take it because
okay.
it would be stealing. But anyway, now I can do a whole whack of alchemy with some of the stuff that I've got.
All the alchemy, all the time.
Yep. So we'll do a little bit of alchemy. We'll save those. There we go. Restore health. Can always use more of those. We'll save that imp stool. Restore magicka. That's the bad kind, though.
Remedies for ailments both common and rare.
You could always sell them.
Yeah, I know. But I'll see if I can make something else with those ingredients first. Okay, so we want to go canis root and imp stool so we can get a potion of paralysis. Or a poison of paralysis, I guess.
Wow,
I
look
should
at you.
say.
You know all the recipes.
I've done alchemy for many years, and I know a lot of the recipes already. Yeah. So it really helps. Now, do I have any more tapanella? No, I don't. Okay, well, I might as well just use this up this way then. Okay, and then we got this, and we got this. Because you want to try and make high-value things, too, if you can, right?
Yep.
Because for one thing, they sell for more money, and for another thing, they boost your alchemy more quickly, too. And then, of course, I just kind of, do this kind of thing, too.
Because you don't know all the recipes.
No, I don't know all the recipes. Well, there's so many, how can you possibly remember them all, right? Okay, and there are certain items that I also will save. Like, I won't use them in alchemy. Because, they're valuable to use for other things. Like, for example, ectoplasm is actually an ingredient for making magical staves of some types of summoning.
Okay.
And so I'm not going to use it. And of course, I created the recipe for making Jaren root, so you got to save your canis root and your death bell and your nightshade, right? As well as any frostbite venom that you can get your hands on. Because all of those things are ingredients that you need in order to make one Jaren root. And then once you have made a Jaren root, well, of course, then you can make some extremely potent poisons of kill everything instantly, right?
If there's anything I can help
like we're talking poisons that do 2,000 plus points of damage.
Yep.
Like massively poisonous.
It's like the Oblivion super poisons you could make.
Yeah, kind of. It's like it's basically comparable, I suppose, to the poison apples, maybe.
You'll find tonics, salves,
Okay, that's enough of that for now. And now we profit.
You look rather pale.
Oh yeah, from the Amorous Adventures, I could actually hit on Arcadia if I wanted to, too. And I kind of already used the alchemy lab, so. And I've never actually followed that one. I'm not sure what you get. Or if you get anything particularly worthwhile. Sometimes you don't, right? Like if it's depending on the quest. Anyway. Okay, that takes care of that. Now we'll go see Bellathor.
Sell him more useless shit.
Sell him more useless shit. Oh, we'll pick those flowers too while we're here.
Flower picker.
Since we're going by them anyway.
Just about everybody in here. Give a holler if you have any questions.
And we'll read this book to increase our speech. And we'll go talk to Bellathor. Find out what he has for sale. Just stay inside at night, Bellathor. Okay, so we'll sell him a whole bunch of useless potions too. Okay. Okay. These ones that give you temporary bonuses, generally speaking, are so small that I don't bother with them anyway, right? You know, like the potions of health and that kind of thing. That give you an extra 20 points of health for 60 seconds or whatever. Like I think they're not worth carrying around for the amount of weight that can accumulate. And you know, like
it's just better to have the healing potions.
Yeah, similar to you know, like a certain Skyrim or Oblivion character that it was always over-encumbered. Well, I find that I'm always over-encumbered.
Hey, if you're not over-encumbered, you're not trying.
Okay. So we can have a look and see if Bellathor has any interesting enchantments, and it doesn't really look like he does. He doesn't have anything that I don't already know. And he doesn't have any grand soul gems either. There.
Do come back.
However, it is daytime out.
That it is.
So I should probably go and sleep for a bit, and I'm going to show you where you can go and sleep for free.
I work with my mother. So
Oh, you've got a free bed, do you?
I have got better than that.
lady,
How are we doing for time here anyway? Are we just about to...
We're approaching an hour. We're about 2 minutes off an hour.
Okay. Well, I know we did a lot of shopping and alchemy and that kind of stuff in this episode, but it needed to be done.
So you'd think that the guards would at least know how to maintain their own weapons.
another wanderer here to lick my father.
Anyway, we go up the stairs here. And of course, maybe I'll do it off camera, but we can, you know, now that we've made friends, we can go through all of these different wardrobes and things, and we can grab all their gold.
Man, you just know where all the good shit is, don't you?
Yeah. Anyway, this is a mod called Dragon Bum. And basically what it is it's an unoccupied loft area with all the crafting stations and stuff, and it has a bed that you can sleep in, as well as safe storage, like lots and lots of it.
Yep.
So basically you can kind of move in and you know, like live in this place for free.
Nice.
As a, you know, kind of like a squatter, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
You
of
just
course,
walk up and you're squatting in the fucking Jarl's
and of course,
loft.
in theory, I think this is supposed to be, at one point, Lydia's bed, because you got Lydia's Diary, Volume 1, and if you read it, you get a point for sneak, and Lydia's Diary, Volume 2, and if you read that, you get a point for sneak as well. And I'm not going to go through what says in Lydia's diaries because it's not safe for YouTube. But anyway, here's a note to the player from the mod creator, thanking you for taking the time to download his mod and explaining a little bit about how things work. Right? So, and then he has this big key, and this big key is what unlocks all of these things. And it looks like this is something that he added. Like I updated this mod recently, like in the last year.
Yep.
And he added this, but it looks like there's no key to open this yet. So this might be something that he plans to add to this mod at some point.
Yep.
I don't know. But anyway, you have an enchanting table and lots of safe storage, and you can even sort it by type if you want. You know, so that you'd have all your ingots and things sorted in here. I'm not going to make use of it because I am more interested in, you know, like using the cloud storage mod that I made.
Yep.
So, you know, I don't want to have to pack a whole bunch of stuff from here back down to the house later because that's a chore, right?
But you have a place for now.
But I have a place for now. And of course, he also has some giveaways here, like in this bucket, there's a bunch of soul gems. You can avoid taking the bucket. And then
it's the authorized soul gem storage container, right?
Well, it's not really a storage container. It just happens to be the one that he dropped a bunch of
soul gems
into that you can pick up. And of course, you've got, you know, like all sorts of
safes and other things.
Named safe storage for specific item types and that kind of thing, right? So over here now I can do stuff like I can make jewelry if I want to. And since is how the naval piercings actually occupy the same body slot as my glasses, I can't really do that. So,
oh well.
So we'll have to forego that. But what I can do, though, is I can use a console command to console in something. And I think we'll just put it maybe right about here somewhere. And we'll go...
F5 is your friend.
Okay, sure.
That way, in case you fuck up.
Well, we'll go help jewelry 4. And then we'll go player dot place at B 7A00 7A00 83FA 83FA. Oops. Fat fingers. Okay. What that does is it puts this chest here, and it's of course always oriented and always up. I don't know why. But basically this is the KS jewelry from the KS jewelry mod. And I don't know why it all shows up as stolen, but sometimes it doesn't. You know, when I console in the
sometimes thing. It does, sometimes it doesn't.
I think it has to do with the ownership status of the area that you put it in. But we've got a couple of facial piercings, as well as you know, like some nice earrings and that kind of thing. Like, these are really nice looking pieces, right? Like, you see how they look.
Yep.
They put the vanilla jewelry to shame, right? You know, and you've got all kinds of earrings and rings and stuff like that. This is actually a ring that fits around your entire hand, right?
Okay.
You know, like, it's not a single finger ring. It's like a
hand ring.
It's a hand ring, yeah. Looks very cool. And of course, you've got all sorts of different earrings and necklaces and pendants and circlets, right? That kind of stuff. Very nice looking jewelry, right? But anyway, we grabbed what we wanted from there, and we'll See that also, the nose piercing also occupies the same slot as the glasses do, right?
Yep, yep.
So I can't do that, but we can equip the Monroe. And we can also equip the... Did I grab the earring? Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, there. Oh. There it is. Okay. So, those are a couple of extra jewelry pieces that you can use for, you know, enchanting purposes and that kind of thing. And it's kind of hard to see the earring with the long hairstyle here.
Yep.
But, you know, basically you can just kind of see it under the hair, sort of sticking out. Right there, if you look closely enough, I guess. You know, like you can just see the dangly part there hanging down. And, the Monroe is also pretty hard to see, but you see that little sparkly diamond right on the right-hand side of her nose, like just to the right of her nose. It's really hard to see because it's very small, right?
Yeah, it's the kind of thing you need a light source for.
There it is. See, you can get a good look at it there, maybe. We can, there, see?
Yep.
Okay, so basically it's like a facial piercing, right?
Yeah.
And they are enchantable. So we can go here and we have a black soul gem with a grand soul, and we have a couple of grand soul gems with grand souls that we picked out of our bucket. So we can enchant the Monroe, and we can, oh, I do have resist frost. So we can enchant our Monroe with resist frost, and you'll notice that with the survival mode, it also increases your warmth by 40 points.
Yep.
Okay.
And that'll be important for when we go up north next.
Yeah. Okay. So that's nice. And likewise, the earring you can also enchant. And of course, these things, you can enchant them with different things depending on what kind of item they are. You know, kind of like normal gloves or armor or whatever. Like, you can't put all the same enchantments on body armor, for example, that you could put on a pair of boots.
Yeah.
Right? They have different categories, I guess. So anyway, we can put we'll put maybe an armor on this one. Again, I'm not great at enchanting, but what can you do?
Well, some is better than none, right?
And we can also enchant our sunglasses. Well, I guess I should have enchanted the earring with the resist cold, because I can't put resist cold on the sunglasses, see?
Oh, well, I guess you're just going to put protection on sunglasses.
I guess I'll just put protection on them. It will be sunglasses of armor. But anyway, so now we've got 3 extra enchanted pieces, and I like to mark them as favorites just so that I can tell, you know, like what I've got enchanted and what I don't. You know, because when you're buying and selling and that kind of thing, you hate to accidentally sell something that you didn't want to, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess I'm going to put the nose piercing back into the chest. But basically, the nose piercing is basically just a, you know, like a typical nose stud. It's not a ring, it's a diamond stud. It's very similar in appearance to the Monroe.
Yep.
But it goes in one side of your nose, right? Like high up, above the nostril, almost at the bridge of the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So we'll put that back because we can't really use it because we want to keep our glasses, right? So now, if we have a look here, we actually have an armor rating now of 381, and our warmth rating is now 171, which is much better than it was. So I guess we've done all the stuff that we can do here for now. So maybe we will leave this episode at that.
And next time going up north.
So the next goal, I guess, will be to make it to Winterhold.
All right.
Because this is going to be a fairly long journey.
It is, yeah. But you had to prepare for it somehow.
Yep. So anyway, until next time.
I'm Ep05.
And I am Sandman99.
Have a good one.